Let's say China.
China.
There are no storm movers, and you can actually see Russia from land here in Alaska.
Go over to China.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Trump's tweeting out insults to Angela Merkel. What's he doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host.
Yes. Hello, and welcome. I am James Andrews, and you are listening to So This Happened, the only news you need if you've been watching Fox all day and need a little bit of a break. It's Wednesday, the 30th of August 2017, and the money pouring in from celebrities to help people out in Houston is incredible. The comedian Kevin Hart threw up a challenge on Twitter saying that he was donating $25,000 and he challenged others to donate that much as well. So far, a number of celebrities have come forward to donate this. Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez, former Yankees star, donated the $25,000. The Rock also stood with Kevin Hart and donated $25,000. Jensen Ackles, the chap from that TV show Supernatural, also jumped in, and him and his crew have actually raised over $100,000. Kim Kardashian and the Kardashian family have donated a combined amount of $500,000 to the Red Cross. The rapper T.I., he jumped right in there and went with the $25,000 challenge set by Kevin Hart. The Houston native Beyonce is also rumored to have donated a significant amount of money, and she is staying very quiet on how much she actually donated, but the figure, it's believed, is somewhere in the millions, and that is spectacular. The Texas preacher we talked about yesterday, Joel Osteen, has donated, well, what? He's donated fuck all. So, right. Well, he did open the doors to his church, and he went on the news today and defended not opening yesterday. And he claimed, and I think this is a little bit sad for a so-called man of God, the reason they didn't open up the church to people who needed shelter was because the city had not asked them to. Which strikes me as really funny, because I'm not a religious man, but I was under the impression that God was the man in charge of the church, not the mayor of the city. I might be wrong, I'm willing to learn, and I guess today I did learn that in fact it's the mayor of the city who is in charge of Joel Osteen's church, not the big guy upstairs.
We're all about helping people. This is what the church is, and our church is all about. So I think I don't know if it's unfounded, but I think if people were here, they'd realize there were safety issues. This building had flooded before, and so we were just being precautious. But the main thing is the city didn't ask us to become a shelter then.
Well, there you go. You heard it from the man himself. The city didn't ask us to become a shelter. And this storm, Hurricane Harvey, has just done unimaginable damage. It is worse than anybody feared or even predicted. And that's part of the problem right now. You have all these people in Houston who, before it started on Thursday and Friday, they knew it was coming, but the prediction was that it wasn't going to be as terrible as it is. And it's just been amazing, epic, to use a word from the president. To give you an idea of just how much water the city of Houston has seen, check this out. 21 trillion gallons of rain have fallen since midnight Friday. And to give you an idea of how much that is, because 21 trillion is such an abstract number, there's no way to gauge that. But here are 4 examples which will blow your mind. That is enough to fill the Great Pyramid of Giza nearly 31,000 times. It will fill more than half of Lake Tahoe. It would fill 32 million Olympic-sized swimming pools. And finally, it would flow over Niagara Falls for 321 days. And that is just staggering. But the sad part is, the worst is still to come, experts are predicting. The flooding will continue and will get even worse than it is right now. This really is just an unprecedented natural disaster. And to keep throwing the figures at you, Hurricane Harvey so far has dropped more water on the US than any other storm in history. 51.9 inches of rain have fallen right now. It's amazing. It's just incredible. The second closest was in 1978, which was Tropical Storm Amelia, which dropped a mere 48 inches on Texas. And then it just goes down from there significantly, and we're still not done. So 51 inches, we've still got quite a bit more to go. It's just really awful, and I do urge everyone to go to the Red Cross's website or any other place you know where they're taking donations or taking money, because these people really need our help right now. This is a great time to show them how great America is, and for everybody listening outside of America, how great the world is. This is a really good thing to do to help your fellow human beings and show that really it doesn't matter where we're from. We're all people. We're all compassionate, whether we're from Mexico or Guatemala or Nigeria, Australia, the Philippines, Japan, Korea, South Korea, not North Korea. They don't give a fuck. They're not going to send any money. But South Korea, we're all just people trying to make it through. And I feel bad turning our attention away from Texas right now, but there are so many other news organizations which are just covering it 24 hours a day. They're much better prepared to do it than I am, and you can see it, so that's better too, rather than just listening to my delightful voice. So I want to turn our attention to something else that happened this week. Donald Trump decided to revive a program that had been cancelled by his predecessor, Barack Obama, and that is that police departments around the country are issued surplus military equipment for officers to use as they see fit. Now, Barack Obama wisely cancelled this program because when you have a police force that looks militaristic, they look like soldiers, that inspires enormous fear in people. The idea of the police department is that they are there to protect and serve. It says it right there on the side of most of their cars. But when they're walking around with bulletproof vests and grenade launchers and they look like a paramilitary organization, it's very hard to see them as an organization that is protecting and serving. They look like, well, they're terrifying. Barack Obama, when he banned this practice, said that the police were giving the impression that they are, and I quote, an occupying force as opposed to a part of the community there to protect them. And he's absolutely right. If you see a group of police walking down the street, dressed in black, carrying assault rifles, and behind them military vehicles, your initial thought is not, oh, thank God the police are here. Your initial response is, fucking hell, run away, they're coming. And that is exactly the kind of reputation the police does not need, particularly at this time when relationships between the police and the civilian population are at pretty much an all-time low. The last thing we need to do is see police officers looking like some villain from Star Wars. A number of people have come forward and said this, that look, they are giving the impression that they are not here to help us, but they are giving the impression that they are here to subdue us. And Attorney General Jeff Sessions, that twat, he dismissed the concerns as superficial. But the thing is, they're not superficial, because these are actual concerns of people who live in the community. I personally would not want to see police walking down the street looking like they're soldiers in Fallujah. And the impression that it gives is that they are not there to keep the peace, But in fact, they are there as an army ready to engage with anybody who disobeys them. And if you think this is just all airy-fairy nonsense and say, oh, it doesn't matter what they look like, it's not an impression that counts, it's what they do, well, you're wrong. Because it is the impression that counts. Remember yesterday when Melania boarded Marine One in those ridiculous heels? People went crazy about it. It's all people were talking about yesterday. Now, I suggested, jokingly, that perhaps they were just stilts and that it was to avoid water getting on her trousers. But impressions do count, because people looked at that and said, wow, how fucking out of touch are these people? She really is going to go to a flood zone dressed like she's going to a New York fashion show. And in all fairness to Melania, she changed shoes on the aeroplane, and when she landed in Texas, she was wearing a pair of running shoes. But impressions do count, and that brings us back to the police. If they're dressed like an army, that's the first thing you see, and that is the first thing that you go, oh God, they look like soldiers. They don't look like, friendly Officer Billy who's here to help get the cat from the tree. And it's exactly that kind of fear in the police that they should be fighting tooth and nail right now to avoid. We don't want to see police who look intimidating and scary. We want to see police who are approachable so we can walk up to them, talk to them, and have a conversation. You're not going to walk up to somebody dressed to head and toe in black with an assault rifle. You're just not going to do it. You're not going to walk up and go, oh yeah, do you have a light? And there's been a lot said in the conservative media and, just media in general, that the police should not have to fear the people that they are there to protect. Well, that's a two-way street, because it also goes that the people that the police are there to protect should not fear the police. And now I just want to make a quick public service announcement about Barack Obama and when he became president. The year was 2008. And I mention that because a number of Trump supporters are under the impression that Barack Obama was in charge during Katrina. Hurricane Katrina happened in 2005. George W. Bush was president then, but that has not stopped Trump supporters hitting social media and making some fairly outlandish and just really silly comments. I'll read a couple to you. How come we never saw Obama helping the Katrina victims? Oh, that's right, he was golfing at the time. Well, he might have been, I don't know, but you didn't see him helping the Katrina victims because he wasn't president then. It goes on. Thank you, Trump. This is how a real president leads. Where was Obama during Katrina? Probably golfing. #MAGA. And one last one. And where was Obama when Katrina hit? Vacationing and didn't answer for 3 days. You lefties are all on crack. And there are two things wrong with that tweet that I would like to address. Firstly, as we've already said, Barack Obama was not president until 2008. Katrina happened in 2005. And secondly, us lefties prefer Molly to crack cocaine. Okay? I'm just saying, get your facts right before you start throwing them up on social media. And finally, President Trump is in Missouri today, and tonight he's going to do a speech on his tax reform plan. We'll see how it goes. My suspicion is it will go exactly the same way as the healthcare plan, which is to say, nowhere. And tonight, he is not expected to give a detailed speech on the specifics, but rather it's just to rally momentum for the post-Labor Day tax reform effort that the Republicans are going to push. But this guy wonders, are there going to be no specifics mentioned tonight because he doesn't have any specifics? Is this going to be exactly like healthcare, where Donald Trump just says, "What? No, I thought they had a plan. You didn't have a plan. I don't have a plan. You don't have a plan? Fuck." And now it's on to taxes. It's sort of like, okay, we're going to do taxes. It's going to be brilliant. What's your plan, Paul Ryan, Mitch McConnell? What? Nothing. You got nothing. Fuck, I don't have anything. I thought you would. I've got nothing. No, I don't know, mate. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I guess I'll just, #MAGA, 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 yeah. And on that cheery note, we're going to end today's conversation. It was fun as always. And again, we send our thoughts and good vibes down to the people in Texas. And make sure you visit the Red Cross website or other such thing. Donate some money if money's not something you can do. There are many places that have collections right now for things like diapers for the children, toothpaste, toothbrushes, just basic living essentials that people have lost in this awful catastrophe. Anyway, we will do it again tomorrow, so take care, have a great night. Ciao.
I woke up.